Wrexham City Radio, your station, your music, today's better music mix for Wrexham.
Meet me on the corner from Lindisfarne on the Stage and Screen Show. And Lindisfarne are an English folk rock band from Newcastle upon Tyne, established back in 1968, originally called Brethren, with the original lineup comprising of Alan Hull, Ray Jackson, Simon Cowell, Ray Laidlaw and Rod Clements. And now the legendary 70s rock pioneers Lindisfarne return to form and back on the road, and will be coming to the William Aston Hall here in Wrexham on March the 5th. And I am so pleased to say that I am joined on the line by original founder member Rod Clements. And Rod, 60 years in the music industry coming up, and judging by just how precarious the music industry is, I mean, even you must be a little bit surprised by that, right?
Oh, Andy, I stopped counting several years ago. It's incredible. I mean, for one thing, I don't consider myself as being part of an industry or even the music industry. We're a bit standalone these days. I don't think we're part of the mainstream music industry at all. We just do our own thing and we get on with it.
Yeah. I mean, I was just looking at your tour dates. I mean, you're touring all over the country until Christmas. It's, I mean, there's still a passion for Lindisfarne, am I right?
Yes, indeed, there is. We have a very faithful following, which we very much appreciate, who turn up in, I wouldn't say droves, but they turn up in their severals wherever we play. Yeah. But also the band's reputation as a live act goes before us, and people know that they're going to have a good time when they come and see us. Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, as kids, most kids, they want to be either an astronaut or a footballer or a rock star, and you managed to achieve one of those. Was it always the plan? Was it always the dream for you? Yes, it always was the plan. From when I was in my early teens at boarding school, when I first got the bug, as it were. Yeah. Listening to guitar bands like The Shadows and The Ventures and Duane Eddy and people like that. And then, of course, it was the Beatles, and then it was R&B and the blues. And I just thought, this is something I want to do. You know, I wonder if I can do it. Yeah. So, you know, borrowing guitars from older mates and then begging my parents to get me one for my birthday. And it's just carried on from there, really. But it must be such a monumental thing to go from thinking you can make a few quid out of this, and the next minute, seemingly, you've got number one albums. It must be such an awesome feeling. Never thought of making a few quid out of it, to be honest. No. It was just something I wanted to do. Yeah. And then in a meeting kindred spirits who also wanted to do the same thing. And that was the thing, was actually just doing it, getting out and doing it. And then you think there's, you know, a potential trajectory ahead of us here where we can, you know, climb up the ladder, as it were, get a record contract, make an album, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And we actually managed to do that. And we were incredibly lucky. I mean, luck plays a big part of it. It always has, always will, I guess. I often hear people say there is a hell of a lot of luck and obviously a lot of talent. There's no getting away from that. But another thing I always hear people say is the first time you hear yourself on the radio or get the call from Top of the Pops. I mean, just little things like that. They're almost like things that you tick off as you go along. But at the time, they must be fantastic. They are, and the first time holding in your hand a record with your name on it, yeah, or looking at an album cover with your pictures on it and things like that. It's incredible. It's a great feeling, but they're all stepping stones on the way. And obviously those stepping stones are a long way behind us now, but we are a working live act, and we love it. The thing being now that we are very much a real band playing real music.
Yeah.
There's nothing on tape. There's no samples going on or anything like that. It is what people are seeing is what they're getting. That's the fact of it.
But I suppose you're the ideal person to ask, actually, because the music, I'm going to say music industry, because it's all. It's changed out of all recognition these days, and nowadays you can write a song in the morning, upload it to the internet, and it could be heard all over the world by tea time. Do you embrace that for the up and coming acts, or do you despair a little for them?
A little bit of both, actually. I'm not that interested in so-called modern or contemporary music, and I don't follow social media that much. I do a bit. I mean, our PR people are obviously involved with that for getting the name and our activities out there on the media. Yeah. But for me, it's a very organic process. Creating songs, writing them at home or whatever, and then going out and playing them. It's very, very much an organic thing. Playing real instruments, singing real songs, and doing it for real in front of people. That's what it's all about for me. Yeah, fantastic. And of course, people these days, they're almost winning their careers on talent shows and whatnot. But I can remember speaking to Francis Rossi from Status Quo, and it was we were talking about how many shows they had to do in the early days to just get yourself out there. You can't put yourself on YouTube back in the 1970s. So you have to do the gigs, and doing that many gigs, that's you're almost practicing by working, and it's the two go hand in hand. I suppose you become brilliant by accident. Well, exactly. Yeah. That's how it was then. Look at the Beatles and all those thousands of nights they played in Hamburg. Yeah. Honing their chops, so that eventually when they broke through in the charts and all that, they were an absolutely incredible live band. Yeah. And like you say, Status Quo, the Stones, and all these people all did the same thing, and we did a similar thing. I mean, we played for several years round the social clubs and rock venues and folk clubs, even of Tyneside, before we actually broke through. And when we made the change to playing nationally and going on tour and playing venues all over the country, we had something that was different, but it was ours, and it was well shaped by then. And luckily, people responded to it. And just on that note, I'll ask you about this, because it was announced earlier this week that the Eurovision Song Contest entry for the UK this year is he's a YouTuber, and he describes himself as an experimental singer-songwriter called Look Mum No Computer. And I think I might be the same as you. I might be a bit old school. I'm not suggesting it needs to be 3 verses, 2 choruses, and a solid middle 8, but that seems to be taking it to the other extreme for me. It might work. I don't know. It might work. I mean, who knows? I'm not in a position to comment really on things like that, but it seems to be the way that things are going now. Yeah. And good luck to him. It's great. But I do feel that the YouTubers and the TikTokers and these people that have seemingly overnight success, I'm not sure whether it is or not, are kind of losing touch with the organic, direct approach of one man and his guitar, or five people and their guitars and drums and whatever. actually going out and playing in front of people.
Absolutely. And I'm going to ask you about the tour in a minute, but I've got to ask you about Fog on the Tyne, because I will get shouted at by everybody if I don't. It's obviously one of your biggest selling singles. It was a number one album by the same name, of course, but in 1990 you collaborated with Paul Gascoigne, Gazza, of course, after the World Cup. How on earth does that Lindisfarne and Gazza, that collaboration sounds fantastic. How did that come about?
I wondered how long it would be before that reared its ugly head. But it was a very straightforward thing, really. I mean, Gazza in 1990 was one of the most famous people in the country. You know, he was all on the tabloid front pages and all that.
Yeah.
And these people got in touch with our people, if you like, and said, Gazza wants to make an album and he wants to do Fog on the Tyne on it. Can he do that? And we thought about it a bit and said, how about if we rewrite Fog on the Tyne to be a kind of autobiographical thing for Gazza?
Yeah.
And that's what Alan Hull and his mates did. And they went for it. And the music track was done in Newcastle in our own studios, and then exported, if you like, down to London, and Gazza overdubbed his vocal onto the track that we made.
Yeah.
And the only contact I had with him was when he came up to Newcastle a few weeks later to make the video. And we had an afternoon knocking about him, shooting scenes around town, and he was absolutely crackers. You know, he was mad as a box of frogs.
Well, funny enough, I've got mad as a box of frogs written on my notes here, so thanks for that.
Oh, good, right. But he was a lovely guy, and he was very funny. He was good company for that afternoon.
Brilliant.
And you know, it's a bit sad what's become of him
Yeah.
later, but I wish him well, and it did put us back in the public profile at a time when our profile was a bit low, and actually thought there might be a potential of making a bit more of it, but it wasn't to be. Never mind. We had our own thing to do. He had his. So it went.
And indeed, you still do have your own thing to do. And as I say, I was just looking at your tour dates before. You're touring up until Christmas, just this year. And how does a Lindisfarne concert look like these days? Is it a best of? I suppose it's a bit of a worry, because you're always going to miss out something that somebody likes, right?
Well, we're in a lucky position in a way that we didn't have that many big hits. You know, maybe half a dozen. And we always play them. Every show we do, we always play Fog on the Tyne, Run for Home, Beat Me on the Corner,
Yeah.
Lady Eleanor, We Can Swing Together, etc. But those big hits, and I say we're in a fortunate position with only being half a dozen of them, because that doesn't fill a whole night. But we have a huge reservoir of back catalogue that we can cherry pick from as we please as we go along, and we do a few long time stage favourites. We do a few deep dives into the back catalogue of songs that maybe haven't been heard for a while, but they all kind of gel together, because Alan Hull, who was the main songwriter, I mean, I contributed about maybe 20% of the repertoire, but the bulk of it came from Alan, and he had a very distinctive style, a very personal worldview, and those songs all reflect that. So it does all gel together into a cohesive Lindisfarne experience.
Fantastic. Well, Lindisfarne play Wrexham William Aston Hall on the 5th of March. Rod, Clements, it's been an absolute treat to speak to you, my friend. Thanks ever so much for that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy. It's been a pleasure.
Lovely.
Cheers.
You take care of yourself, and we'll see you in Wrexham on the 5th of March. Brilliant.
Good man. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Cheers, bye-bye.
Bye for now. Bye.
Sitting in a sleazy snack bar, sucking sickly sausage. Oh mate, bug on the time.
So, Lindisfarne will be playing at the William Aston Hall the 5th of March. And the box office number then for the William Aston Hall, 01352 344 101. That's 01352 344 101. Go on, support your local theatres, ladies and gentlemen. They won't be there forever if you don't.